Hi, welcome to my home in Winfield, Illinois. I just want to drop in to say Happy New Year to you. What a year it has been yet again. But as I stopped to take stock over the Christmas holidays of what this year has been, it was really reassuring and sobering to me to see how God has still used this ministry for MKs to impact the lives of families around the world. It has been done in very different ways than it was ever done before in my work. In creative ways, in sometimes frustrating ways, in ways that don't feel fulfilling in the same way as they used to. But as I look back over the correspondence of this year, as I look back over some of the trips I was still able to take, I see that God had his hand in it all, and that God was not dismayed or disrupted by something called COVID. So I am grateful, looking back on 2021, that this ministry went on unimpeded, transformed, yes, but unimpeded. And for all of you who remained a part of it, I would be nowhere without you. This work would be nowhere without you. So I want to take this chance to say thank you. I look back at my last trip, my last significant trip, which was to Switzerland, and the experiences I had there. I remember my first day, I was sitting in the lobby of this hotel up in the Alps, and this beautiful young man came leaping up to me and sat down in the chair in front of me, and he said, "Are you Michele Phoenix?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "I've got some stuff to tell you." And from then on out, those 4 or 5 days of conference were him telling me things. And I had 3 sessions with the older kids that week, and the 3rd session was going to be the hard stuff, the session where we get to talk about the things that we don't normally address in missionary and MK circles. And every day leading up to that, one of the kids would say, is today the hard stuff day? Is tomorrow the hard stuff day? They were so eager to get to speak their truth, to get to speak of the things that they didn't feel comfortable or permitted to speak of in other circumstances. And I've got to tell you that the day when we got to the hard stuff was stunningly sad in a lot of ways for me, but so redemptive as we got to talk through what is God, what is the error of man, what is life on a broken planet in broken bodies. Those 3 hours that we spent together that day gave significance and meaning and purpose to the entire year that had gone by. Whenever I go on a trip, whenever I go to a conference, I always look for the aha moment. It might not be the whole event that's an aha moment, but there's usually one point in the week or the weekend when I think, oh, so this is why I'm here. And those 5 days in Switzerland were full of, oh, so this is why I'm here. Even getting up in the morning and going to breakfast and sitting down with some of the parents of the MKs that I was teaching, the parents I was also teaching during afternoon seminars, but sitting down with them and hearing them say that, last night our kids came in and they sat on our beds and we talked until past midnight about the stuff that you had engaged with during your sessions with them. One young lady came up to me on the last day and asked if she could have lunch with me, so we had lunch together, and she pulled up on her iPhone a list of probably 25 questions that she had that ran the gamut from theological things like, why did God put the tree in the garden in the first place for Adam and Eve to mess up? Things that had to do with culture, with being cross-cultural, with growing up in that kind of mixed environment. And then things like, how do I tell people what my parents do in my country where my parents serve? And they say, what do your parents do? Is it okay that I don't tell them they're missionaries? And we talk through what the importance of truth is and what the importance of gradual revelation of truth is. That it's not wrong, that it's not sin not to blurt out that your parents are missionaries if you're living in a context where it won't be understood and where it might be actually misperceived by the people listening to you. So these encounters happened day in and day out. You know how it works, late into the night during this conference in Switzerland, and I came back refreshed, rejuvenated in my passion and in my vision for this work. This new year begins with a bunch of stuff on the horizon. We'll see if Omicron allows it to happen or not, but there are trips to Canada and Georgia and Greece on the calendar for the next 3 months. Also a brand new set of new resources coming out, new articles on topics that haven't been addressed yet that I want to put out into the universe. The accompanying podcast episodes that will be the audio version of those articles that I'm working on writing, and still fielding emails day in and day out in my inbox from people around the world, from missionaries and missionaries' kids around the world who have been so deeply impacted by the upheavals that we've been through recently. Upheavals all of us have experienced, but when your life is already in upheaval from living cross-culturally, from living under such pressure and with people watching every move you make, from your ministry having to transform itself, or in some cases these families' ministries have had to kind of hibernate for well over a year now. How do these families whose vision and purpose in life have been put in parentheses, how do they progress? How do they look at the future? How do they deal with the daily stressors and toxic anxiety, especially young children? How do they deal with that? How do they deal with the unpredictability of what the future is going to hold for their missionary families who serve overseas? So all of that will continue this year. My work on all of these fronts will continue this year. I am still open to any invitations I get from churches, mission agencies, whatever it might be, families that would like to debrief, whether it be on Zoom or in person. Please reach out to me. I have a calendar that has a space on it right now, and I want to fill it with missionary families, with organizations that send them, with schools that teach MKs. I want to fill it with all of those people groups in the weeks and months going forward from here. So once again, Happy New Year. Whatever it may hold for all of us, we know who holds it, and we know that we are in safe hands, and we know that we are loved by a God who understands panic and anxiety and depression and disillusion and unhappiness and frustration. These are the words that I say to MKs all the time. He gets it, he gets you, and he's not going anywhere. Thank you for standing with me in this work that I love so much.